So the biggest question of Attack on Titan has been answered: what is in the basement? And this is the point that I and many manga readers consider to be where the true Attack on Titan begins. What's to come makes the previous content look just okay in my honest opinion, and I think the previous content is utterly fantastic. It's just that Isayama is a mad genius. The fact that, for myself and pretty much everyone who experienced Attack on Titan, whether that be with the anime or the manga, probably had the thoughts of, okay, what's in the basement? Is it going to be a cure? Is it going to be a way to turn anyone into a Titan? Like, what's ultimately going to be down that basement that is so secretive, and can it live up to the hype? And Isayama, if he was a cliche writer, he would have went pretty typical and goddamn basic bitch level. However, he showed us it's a picture. A picture highlighting that some people have speculated that there could be people outside the walls, that's where Reiner came from, but when this got revealed, no one could see this coming. An entire advanced civilization, photographs, technology, blimps, all the stuff that we have come to know from our own history, but why isn't Eren's people like this? Why are they so back in the past when clearly there's something much more advanced, especially seen by how shocked they were that it wasn't a drawing, but some sort of technology they've never heard of. This reveal is still just as fantastic as that first experience. I was nervous watching this episode, knowing how it would play out. It was just, how are they going to reveal it? Would I feel that same passion the first time that I read it? And absolutely I did. This episode was goddamn amazing. This reveal was spectacular, especially because of the build-up. I love the idea of cutting back from the past to the present as Eren and company are walking through basically ruin. Their home just destroyed, and seeing just the past and how happy and bright it used to be to then what it has become, just rubble and ash. And it's such a heartbreaking scene because with last week's episode with barely no music, it was the proper technique. Keep it silent, keep it goddamn just horrifying. This episode, it was just driven by the music. You'll hear these kind of electronic sound effects pop in throughout the track. You'll have this piece of music that's just eating away at your soul, making you say, holy shit, this is making you terrified and sending chills up your spine. And to just see how sad that scene was of just characters walking. That's how you know Attack on Titan has done something right. That when characters, 4 characters are walking down a street, it can make me feel such a wide variety of emotions, being like, this is just so depressing, seeing what used to be such a happy place and what our characters have experienced to get back to where they currently are. And I think just the approach to that basement was done even better than I remember from when I read the manga. It felt just so horrifying in such a bittersweet way that I think it was executed so goddamn flawlessly. One of my favorite parts of the manga is when the key doesn't fit, and it would have been such an Isayama move to just, you know, say the key doesn't fit, you end the chapter, you end the episode, and then Levi just doesn't have any of that because this man has lost so much, no key is going to stop him from figuring out what the hell is in that basement. Even the false drawer, I just love the humor. Even in such a depressing episode, you can sprinkle in that Levi humor that we've come to know and love, and I really enjoyed that. This is a man who has been a doctor, a very known and well-respected doctor, so he's not going to be an idiot and leave his secrets out in the open. But I do like the disappointing look to all these characters, feeling as if we got here and it's just a doctor's lab. What is the point of it? And it kind of like, I remember when I first read the manga, I used to think it would be something like a cure or something to that nature to stop the Titan outbreak. And you see all these kind of vials, it's like, well, maybe he has a secret medicine lingering somewhere. And then when you approach the book and see the picture, that's where Attack on Titan changes. Isayama has been building up something insane since the very first episode, and this is the reveal where so many things are going to start clicking and you're going to experience Attack on Titan in a way you've never seen. And this isn't me overhyping it. I think just based on what you see in this episode, I think it really goes to show that the world of Attack on Titan just got a lot bigger. And why is one section of the world apparently pretty advanced? Why did Eren's father come to this dystopian looking place where Titans are surrounding the walls and they basically are in a time where they have basically no technology? There are so many questions that will be lingering in your head, and you're supposed to have those questions. After the credits, you get a taste of his father's life as a kid, and you're seeing that they have to wear these armbands. They can't go outside a certain wall, very similar to our own character's wall, kind of like you can't go outside for one reason or another, whether that just be rules or because something is going to kill you outside that. You're seeing it's a very different location and setting, but there's clearly something going on with their military based on the fact that they have to wear these armbands. You're seeing blimps in the sky. You're seeing that this literally is modern civilization from our own past, and it is so different than what Eren is currently experiencing. If you were to take the shots from what we've seen in his father's past to what we've seen in when his father was an adult with Eren, you would think it was from 2 different points in time of the Attack on Titan history, but in fact, that was actually taken before Eren was born, and you wouldn't be able to notice that based on how Eren currently lives with his people in terms of basically having no technology. This episode it delivers what Isayama's writing capabilities actually are. A series that, even when you think you can predict exactly where it's going to go, he will reveal things in such a way, and it's not like he just comes up with things left field. It's something that had a long-term plan that, of course, as he wrote the story, he also kind of came up with new ways to use his current characters that he didn't think of. There's been plenty of characters that he was going to kill early on, but kept alive because either the fandom or his editor liked them. Sashi is one of those examples, but because of that, we're actually able to become really fleshed out and interesting characters. But the big details, the basement, what Titans are, how they operate, that's always been in his mind since the early days, and it really shows with reveals such as these, because I never saw anyone accurately predict what the basement would reveal when I was reading the manga. I read it from like chapter 50 onwards. I used to speculate non-stop, and this reveal is just as interesting, if not more interesting, because of the added detail of sound effects and just the overall soundtrack that just brings out the complicated emotion that Isayama wrote in his original source material. And even outside the basement, you get such great Armin content outside within the first half of this episode, because for Armin to wake up, he's not an idiot. He's gonna naturally say, Erwin's the one who deserved to live, not me. He's the brains of the bunch. Why would you choose me? And I think they really did a great job at bringing out that just heartbreak, because it's kind of similar to Eren. Having the weight of the world on your shoulders. At first, he was the only Titan shifter. He didn't know what the hell he was doing, and he just kept messing up. It's such a horrifying feeling to feel like the weight of the world's on your shoulders, and imagining that the brains, the top commander, was killed for your life. What in the actual hell is wrong with you? I'm just a nobody, even though Armin clearly possesses some serious skills that only he has. And I like how it is such an intense moment, because basically Levi is going to admit, he's not a liar. He's going to say, ultimately, the reason you're alive is because I wanted Erwin to die, because that was going to be his resting place. However, even if they tried to convince me, the decision was on me. If we remember, Erwin gave him that syringe saying it was ultimately Levi's decision. Whatever Levi decided on had to go. Even if Eren pointed a gun to his head, ultimately if Levi gave that syringe to Armin, it's because he wanted to, and it's because he wanted his friend to rest finally, but also trusting in what Eren was saying, that he would be the future of humanity, so he has to live up to that. However, he also can't regret what's happened to him. Like Hanji isn't just saying like, you know, I agree with this, I also agree that Erwin was the correct choice, however, I'm going to be the new commander now, and you're going to be the brains of the future of humanity. We all have our work cut out, but we have to swallow and just accept that this is what's happening. And I think they did a great job at highlighting a character who thinks that they didn't deserve to live. How are you going to live up to expectations as someone who is such a great commander, even if he did get so many people killed? Ultimately, the reason that 9 Survey Corps members are currently alive is because of that suicide charge. Without that charge, they would all be dead. And it really goes to show that this wasn't much of a victory when they have less than a dozen Survey members left, and that is their force of humanity. Sure, they got the Colossal, sure, they also have Eren. 2 Titan shifters is a good weapon, but when you still have the Beast Titan lingering out there, and the fact that you have such few actual military grade combat fighters, how are you supposed to deal with it? Let's hope something in the basement is going to salvage what's happened, and then you learn that there's a more advanced civilization outside of their own walls. Holy shit, things are about to get insane, and that's why I say this is where the true Attack on Titan begins. You think it's just going to be a Titan battle series, but it's so much more than that, and I can't wait for next week's episode. Next week's episode is going to be very dialogue heavy. Be sure to pay attention. There's going to be a lot of information, a lot of things you're not supposed to know just then and there. Make sure you're not watching bad fan subs, because it is important to catch all the crucial information. There's one guy who's been uploading basically Google Translate fan subs, and it's absolutely horrendous. Do not use those. This episode was incredible. The voice actors gave it their all. There definitely was a lot less amazing visuals compared to last week, but no one should expect last week's episode's quality to remain throughout this entire episode. There definitely was a few shots that I kind of felt like it was a different artist working on the character models, and they definitely pulled away far more than I'm typically used to with this season of Attack on Titan. This episode was utterly fantastic with how much emotion, how much the soundtrack just ate away at me and made me feel chills up my spine. Feeling just so distraught watching these characters walk through their home, hoping, that whatever down that basement will not only still be there, but will be worth the sacrifice. Just the buildup, just the heartbreak, just the sorrow. You felt like there was someone who knew what they were doing writing this, and you felt like the team was passionate about the source material, and the quality absolutely showed. This is the turning point in Attack on Titan, where everything changes, and even if you haven't read the manga, you're going to have so many questions, and that's what you're supposed to feel. The anime brought to life that same feeling that I read when I first read the manga, and just the quality was absolutely fantastic. This season is just so great. Wit Studio delivering their A game. This is the best Attack on Titan has seen. I wouldn't say this episode tops last week's episode, but it doesn't change the fact that this is close to a 10 out of 10 episode in my honest opinion. The story to Attack on Titan just continues to get more complex, and I'm so happy that the name of this place, which I won't say because I haven't dropped the name yet, is finally shown in the anime and it's no longer considered a spoiler. If you made it this far and didn't know what the reveal in the basement is, I am so thankful that you didn't get spoiled because it is such a crucial moment. This is why you don't read wikis, because either you'll learn that Armin is the Colossal Titan, or you could learn that there's a photograph in the basement that will change everything. This was an incredible episode, absolutely fantastic, one I'm going to be rewatching quite a few times before the release of next week's episode. It was fantastic. Everyone, primarily anime originals, what the hell did you think of this week's episode of Attack on Titan? Let me know your thoughts, your theories, your speculations down in that comment section below. Goddamn, am I happy watching this episode. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and also hit that subscribe button if you have been new. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.